Welcome to the College Investor Audio Show, where we talk about the biggest issues impacting millennial money, from student loan debt to side hustles to building wealth. We will show you how to get out of debt so that you can build real wealth for the future.
Now, we've done a review show for TaxAct, but today on the College Investor Audio Show, we're going to talk about TaxAct alternatives. There are 3 other very popular choices for you. Choosing the best tax software, that can sometimes feel like a daunting task. With so many options, it's difficult to tell which one is going to help you get the maximum refund. TaxAct is definitely one of the best tax software options, which will let you file both simple and complex returns and also guarantees you a maximum refund. But it's not your only option. TaxAct has some stout competition, and while its affordability is a big draw for filers, TaxAct's customer service and user experience kind of leaves something to be desired. Plus, TaxAct has one of the most limited free file options this year. That's leaving some to look for TaxAct alternatives. And if that is you, our guide will take a deeper look at this software and put it to the test against its competitors to help you choose the best tax software this filing season. Let's compare TaxAct to other tax software products. Before we delve into each of the tax software program alternatives, take a look at how their basic features stack up to get an idea of the features, cost, and support they have to offer. By the way, there's a lot of charts and graphs. I would love for you to check them out at thecollegeinvestor.com. If you just type in the search bar, TaxAct Alternatives, you'll find this article because I think it would be a little confusing if I went through the graphs myself and tried to explain it all to you. You would get lost. Anywho, let's break down TaxAct's software. TaxAct is one of the least expensive tax filing software options you can get today. It starts at nothing. $0. That includes taxes and fees. And it is best for basic tax returns or use by experienced filers. Here are a few things you need to know about TaxAct. The free edition is ideal for individual filers in simple tax situations. Both federal and state filing cost $0. That's kind of rare, actually, to offer both. Deluxe plan, ideal for moderately complex tax situations. Federal filing costs $24.95, and each state costs $44.95. The Premier plan is ideal if you have a really complex situations, except for self-employed individuals and other business owners. Federal filing costs $34.95, each state filing is $44.95, and then the self-employed plan has all the features of the Premier, plus audit defense and other features for $64.95. State filing also costing $44.95 for this one too. Compared to previous years, TaxAct has lowered the price of their federal product, but increased the price of their state product. Plus, TaxAct's user experience and customer support are quite unimpressive compared to its major competitors. You don't have to worry, though, if TaxAct doesn't meet your expectations. There are so many alternative software options that you can try, like TurboTax, H&R Block, and TaxSlayer. So let's compare each of them with TaxAct so you can choose the best one for you. TaxAct versus TurboTax. Both TaxAct and TurboTax offer multiple options of paid editions, which support increasingly complex tax situations. Moreover, both have a genuinely free version. That means you won't pay a dime to file a state return. Both providers offer 4 paid plans. If you opt to add on-screen human assistance via TurboTax Live Help, for example, you'll need to pay an additional $40 on up to $170, depending on the plan and return type you're using. For both providers, the free plan allows you to file a 1040 and 1 state return. However, you aren't allowed to itemize or file any of the schedules 1 to 6. That means the free plans can only work for you if you're not looking to claim any credits or deductions except for the child tax credit or the earned income tax credit. When it comes to features and ease of use, TurboTax would be your best choice. In fact, TurboTax is usually considered the most user-friendly tax filing software on today's market. Its interview-style tax prep interface keeps things simple and easy to follow. TurboTax also wins when it comes to customer support. thanks to TurboTax Live. With this feature, you can actually have a face-to-face chat with a tax expert. TaxAct also offers access to tax experts, but you can't have face-to-face conversation with them. Keep in mind that you have to incur more costs to enjoy TurboTax's cutting-edge customer support. Overall, TaxAct would be a better option for you as it costs less, but can get a great deal of work done too. If you prefer face-to-face support, however, you can decide to dig deeper into your pocket and invest in TurboTax. Moving on to TaxAct versus H&R Block. Both TaxAct and H&R Block allow you to file state taxes, but you'll have to pay a little bit more with H&R Block. Moreover, both providers offer free e-filing, a service that lets you send your tax returns to the state and IRS electronically. Overall, it is slightly less expensive to file with TaxAct. Nonetheless, you can still save some money with H&R Block's free version as it supports the regular Form 1040 and Schedule A. When it comes to features and ease of use, TaxAct's interface is somewhat unappealing, but it gives you access to all the basic features. You'll also get help throughout your tax preparation process, but the help is less detailed compared to what you get from H&R Block. H&R Block boasts a straightforward and easy-to-use interface. It also offers adequate help during the prep process. The software can direct you to a searchable knowledge base and links to important resources. With either software, you can import W-2s, which helps to save time. However, H&R Block also allows for 1099 imports. Both providers also provide tools with which you can calculate the deduction values of charitable donations. When it comes to customer support, H&R Block could be a better option, with physical locations spread across the country. If you're okay with getting advice online, however, you can capitalize on the help options TaxAct has to offer. The good thing is that both providers offer access to actual tax experts. Overall, TaxAct offers a better deal if you don't mind the absence of face-to-face customer support. However, if you feel you'll need some help and don't mind the extra cost that comes with it, you probably want to go for H&R Block. Now let's look at TaxAct versus TaxSlayer. If you have to choose between TaxAct and TaxSlayer, and you are budget conscious, then you'd be better off with TaxAct, since it's less expensive. The cheapest paid package for TaxSlayer will cost you $17, while TaxAct will cost you $29.95. However, the affordability of TaxAct comes with a cost. You'll have to work with fewer features compared to TaxSlayer. So, if you prefer more features to enjoy a better tax filing experience, you will have to dig deeper into your pocket and invest in TaxSlayer. That said, TaxSlayer is not that expensive when you consider the features it provides. When it comes to user-friendliness, TaxSlayer generally provides a great user experience. Nonetheless, TaxAct has a simpler interface and is more user-friendly of the two. TaxSlayer's user experience is not a very pleasant one when you first begin the tax filing process, with a design that is somewhat wanting. While TaxSlayer will still get the job done, you're more likely to have challenges during the preparation process than you would when filing with TaxAct. Which alternative to TaxAct is best for you? Well, TaxAct is one of the cheapest tax filing software options out there. It's ideal for experienced filers, easy to use. It also gives you access to all the features you need. Unfortunately, there's so much upfront preparation required that it may be challenging for first-time filers. TurboTax, on the other hand, is simple to use and offers a wide selection of features and robust customer support. If you're not experienced in tax filing, this could be an ideal option for you. Keep in mind, though, that it costs more than TaxAct. H&R Block stands out from the rest because it gives you the option to visit one of their offices spread across the country if you need any help. It also has an intuitive interface and uses simple language. This software would be ideal for experienced small business owners. TaxAct provides a good middle ground experience among the providers when it comes to cost, usability, and customer support. But you're typically probably better off with one of the other software packages. The key, once again, is knowing your needs and budget and choosing your tax software accordingly. Software. When you're looking at all the different ones, it can be overwhelming, so I hope today's show was useful and helpful If you know somebody else who could use this information too, please send this podcast to them. We just love helping people. Thanks so much for dropping by the College Investor Audio Show today. Questions or anything else you want to know about TaxAct and all the different tax software, plus very detailed reviews of every single one of them, you can check out thecollegeinvestor.com. Thanks again. We'll talk to you again real soon.